Hello all and welcome back. I hope everyone is doing really well. This is going to be a quick roundup again on Hedera Hashgraph, as we have seen a few different announcements over the last couple of weeks. I want to start it off with a nice little encapsulating tweet from Hedera themselves. Leaderless consensus enabled by Hashgraph removes the opportunity for transaction front-running, provides native resistance to DDoS attacks, and introduces unprecedented fairness to the world of blockchain. If you're building in Web3, do it right, do it on Hedera. And this is as we continue to see more and more use cases develop natively on Hedera themselves because of things like EVM compatibility becoming more and more rigid and robust to help the interoperability between those Ethereum-based chains as well. Means that many developers can natively build on Hedera without actually having to sacrifice anything at all, but whilst also taking full advantage of things like the speed, fairness, the lack of ability for front-running DDoS resistance, ABFT security, etc., etc. The list goes on. The main thing I want to cover in this video, though, is one of the major announcements we've recently seen over the past couple of weeks regarding stable coins on Hedera, and how Hedera appears to be gearing up to really move into the world of remittances and tackle some of that growing subsection of the economy that we're effectively starting to see, or continue to develop actually. So big news though from Hashpack themselves. They partner with Sphera World, a joint venture between Advisory, 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗥, and 𝗟𝗜𝗦𝗖𝗟𝗔𝗜𝗍. Together they're launching an NFT marketplace and launchpad for around 30 to 40 million monthly users. Welcome to the Web3 revolution. We are thrilled to link up with Advisory 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗥, renowned for integrating multiple use cases into Hedera, such as DIFC courts, Hyperloop, Metaverse, and Humans.ai. They've got the right tech to take this to the next level. As Hashpack, we're the bridge between Web 2 and Web 3.0, a narrative they've been pushing massively recently and are really positioning themselves quite well to facilitate this in order to enhance user experiences and help lead that transition. 𝗟𝗚𝗦, the largest digital sports publisher in MENA, covering 42 plus sports, makes a natural fit with their community-driven Web 2 platform. Couldn't be more excited about entering the MENA region alongside these two powerhouses. Get ready for an unparalleled NFT experience. Buckle up and let's shape the future of Web3 together. This is just the beginning. There are more updates lined up over the coming weeks coming out from Hashpack and this announcement. Not only that as well, we've seen Hashpack team up recently with Superlink, which is entering the Hedera ecosystem. Top 10 chain, of course, by collaborating directly with our favorite wallet application. Superlink and Hashpack share the goal of simplifying payments. Today's integration ensures all Hashpack users can utilize Superlink names, which are similar to effectively domain names that we've seen on Hedera in the recent past. If you already have an existing Superlink username, you can download the Hashpack wallet app and get started directly. And of course, you can check out Superlink themselves over on their website. I have got dedicated videos talking about domain names and how they can effectively be used and resolved on Hedera in a much older video. I'm sure you guys can find that on the channel if you want to learn more. Right then, as well, we've got another announcement from the HBAR Foundation, which are proud to announce or proud to have contributed to the Biodiversity Credit Alliance BCA discussion paper alongside the climate industry leaders to support the realization of the Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, which has been accepted and adopted at the UN Biodiversity Conference, COP15. Through this ongoing collaboration, we are helping steer the development of a voluntary biodiversity credit market by building a framework of high-level science-based principles. Ultimately, this will help to develop internationally accepted biodiversity credit principles and guidance and provide support to both the supply and demand side of the markets. Market participants can be assured that as long as a BCA principle and guidance are applied, the project they invest in deliver in integral fashion real measurable biodiversity gains and benefits to nature and biodiversity custodians. This includes indigenous peoples and local communities, etc., etc. So again, this is another sort of landmark achievement for Hedera Hashgraph moving forward into the future with things like real world asset tokenization, as well as any type or form of credit and sort of anything to do with money effectively running through Hedera. They want to be as sort of green and inclusive and meet as many standards as possible natively within the chain to enable anything built on top of it going forward into the future to be able to adopt and share these standards at ease. The main meat, though, of this particular video is this announcement that we saw over the last couple of days, if not weeks. Today, the line between traditional finance and digital assets is blurring, with major institutions building on public chains like Hedera. Stablecoins represent the killer app for on-chain finance, and we anticipate explosive growth over the next 5 years, fueled by emerging markets. Currently, the stablecoin market is largely confined to crypto trading and decentralized finance, with USD-backed stablecoins like USDC and T dominating market share. However, this is set to change dramatically as institutions and fintechs across the globe begin to adopt the technology. And of course, this is basically saying that we're going to have less centralization when it comes to stablecoins. Of course, USD or currency-backed stablecoins will probably remain prevalent going forward into the future. We've all seen the likes of Terra Luna and how that death spiral occurred from algorithmic-based stablecoins. They just don't quite work in principle yet. This corporate and institutional adoption has been thrown into the limelight with the recent release of PayPal's PYUSD. Alongside this, a number of financial institutions are actively researching the issuance and operation of tokenized deposits. There were some large banks as well. I think I can't remember exactly off the top of my tongue, but there was another major bank that was effectively looking at releasing stablecoins and tokens effectively for their intra depository network for transfers, i.e. if you send or create a transaction from user A to user B, intra their system effectively all uses tokenization on the back end to facilitate those almost a costless and timeless speed. One key use case being highlighted is the international remittances, a $190 trillion market cap in 2023, which we see gaining traction on Hedera due to the network speed, institutional interest, and cost efficiency. Here, Hedera is already working with the leading banks like SB Group and beyond. Alongside Swells Labs, we recently facilitated a Hedera-powered stablecoin remittance trial between Governing Council member Shinhan Bank, SCB TechX, and major Taiwanese financial institution. The pilot demonstrated remittance transactions between South Korea and Taiwan that on average took just 2.5 seconds and cost 5 cents in gas fees whilst being operational 24/7. This is orders of magnitude more efficient than any legacy banking system. We can see here, lead time for traditional banking systems could be anywhere from 1 to 10 days. Operating time, of course, as well as traditional banking hours. Real-time traceability, there's no real sort of log of anything taking place, completely different on top of Hedera. And then charges as well, which vary massively compared to the $0.05 transaction fee, which of course is completely fixed based on the transaction type and will not scale as Hedera continues to grow in market cap. As stablecoin use cases expand beyond USD and euros, foreign exchange into more diverse pairs, and payments as well as settlements use cases begin to mature, we anticipate explosive growth to come from markets in the APAC, Latin America, and LAC regions. In addition to Circle's USDC, Hedera already supports XSGD and has supported pilots for stablecoins backed by the Australian dollar, South Korean won, Thai baht, and the African rand. New Taiwanese dollar as well with leading banks. Beyond remittances though, stablecoins can be used in everyday payments. Integration into payment rails is of course crucial. Leading networks including MasterCard have now integrated with Hedera via Fresh Supply Co. AU and are racing to build multi-chain payment systems. Already we see fintechs like 𝗟𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗏, one of the largest financial institutions in the Caribbean, lead the charge through their YCoin USD stablecoin on Hedera to bank the bankless in this region and enable efficient payments across the islands. Now that the catalyst for the next wave of stablecoin adoption has begun, it's imperative for those issuing and managing those stablecoins to have a much easier and simpler time. Cue the Stablecoin Studio native to Hedera. Stablecoin Studio is an open source SDK that makes it easy for Web3 stablecoin platforms, institutional issuers, enterprises, and payment merchants effectively to manage things like stablecoins. Stablecoin Studio implements a hybrid architecture leveraging both the Hedera token service and the EVM-compatible Hedera smart contract service to enable increased programmability for all stablecoins minted and managed through the Studio. We can see here how these harmonize together effectively to leverage all of the best bits of Hedera as well as things like EVM smart contracts to interoperate with the native tokens for that customized programmability, which of course is necessary in this fragmented ecosystem of crypto that we currently experience. This increased programmability ensures that all issuers can customize their stablecoin product suite to ensure compliance with multiple jurisdictions and product market fit with different target audiences. And we can see this here in a very nice diagram. Banking systems, for example, Oracle providers to the existing treasury systems, set cash-in limits, etc., etc. And the Hedera smart contract service, how this would effectively replace these kind of traditional systems via different workflows that this new Stablecoin Studio enables. The programmability also broadens the pool of potential buyers, laying the groundwork for more corporate-based stablecoins like 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗡. As the adoption curve continues to accelerate and the product lifecycle matures to support a multi-tiered ecosystem, we anticipate that stablecoins on Hedera will usher in a new era of financial evolution. So we can see here Hedera effectively betting big on stablecoins and releasing a whole studio and suite of tools to enable those to develop them natively on Hedera going forward into the future. This was then summarized as well, again, in a great HBAR Foundation article. I'll leave this link down in the description. But I want to just cover this end section here, touched on some of this we just spoke about, but we can see, of course, the use case is that international remittances, 190 trillion market cap in 2023, which they'll continue to see gain traction on Hedera due to the network speed and cost efficiency, particularly works incredibly well in the banking, the bankless style use cases, where, of course, we see less privileged areas of the globe getting served with financial access. We can also see as well that thesis of explosive stablecoin growth in non-majors being a big thing. At the time of writing, the combined market cap of the top 10 stablecoins is approximately only $125 billion. This is less than 0.06% of the United States' monetary supply as of July 2023. While early usage was historically limited to the crypto native sphere, we expect stablecoins will become mainstream through institutional and corporate stablecoins, driving the modernization of traditional finance and payment infrastructure. The integration of stablecoins into payment rails will be crucial to use in payments. A number of payment networks from legacy players like MasterCard, now of course integrated with SCO on Hedera, to emerging pure plays such as 6Clovers, and also the likes of enterprises such as PayPal, creating things like 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗡. Stablecoins are basically here to stay, and they will continue growing in market cap moving forward into the future. And it's of course nice to see that Hedera are putting those tools into place to enable those enterprise use cases and corporate use cases effectively to build and issue these types of tokens natively on the chain. Something to be incredibly bullish about, particularly because at the moment, majority of the crypto markets are not performing well. I'm sure many of you guys are a bit of a loss as to what's happening, but of course continuing to hold and teasing out information like this for what's being built behind the scenes is of course the information that you really should be keeping up to date with, because as we all know, things like HBAR tokens and cryptocurrencies in general are or should be long-term plays over the next 3, 4, 5 years. It's important to keep up to date with information like this. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment if you've got something to say. But do try and respond to as many of them as I possibly can. Until the next one, cheers.